Yikes. I just hit a deer. Oh man. I just crossed into Alberta from the US, just like right here, literally 5 minutes ago, less than 5 minutes. So I guess I'm gonna go back. Oh man. Okay, it's a couple hours later now. I am back in the US, so let me show you. I'm in a motel room. I got this place for 2 nights to give me time to figure out what on earth I'm gonna do, because I am pretty darn far from home. And I think the car, well, I know the car is toast. I don't know if it's totaled. I would guess so. But it just barely made it here. This motel is about 8 miles north of the east entrance to Glacier National Park, which is over this way. We have beautiful views of a highway and a cafe across the street. So let me fill you in on what's been happening the last couple of hours. So I hit the deer less than 2 hours ago. I am back in Montana. In the previous video, I was in Glacier National Park and I climbed a mountain, and that was all great. That all went well. But then I left the national park and the plan was to go spend the night in Canada tonight. And so I crossed the border, no issues there. It was the border crossing that's south of Cardston, Alberta. It's like south of Calgary. And, you know, that was fine. And I made it across the border into Canada. And literally, like 3 miles up the road, I hit the deer. So there was this deer standing off to the right, and I saw it. I didn't slow down because it was a fair distance ahead of me, and it crossed the road, but I didn't see the one behind it. And the one behind it came up, and that's the one that I hit. I was going 60 miles an hour. That was the speed limit up there, 100 kilometers an hour, or about 60, 62 miles an hour. And I'm fine. The airbag didn't go off or anything. I think I had the brakes on at the time, so I don't know if I was going full speed or not. But I hit the deer, and then that's when I got my phone and I recorded that clip of me getting out and looking around and seeing the front of the car. And so immediately I thought, okay, this trip is over, first of all. And then I was thinking, do I try to get to Cardston? Do I keep going north to get to the closest town in Canada? Or do I do a U-turn and limp my way back to the US? And that's what I did. I had a nice chat with the US Border Patrol or Customs guy, whatever he was, and he gave me lots of tips. He was sad to see my car in that state. And then I limped my way to, what is it called? Lake Mary? East Lake Mary? Anyway, wherever the east entrance of Glacier National Park is, I went back to that little village where there are multiple restaurants and several hotels and everything like that. But I called around and I walked to several different places and there were no vacancies. Today's Thursday, and so I was like, oh man, what do I do? And so I was talking with one of the ladies at one of the hotels, and she said, go back north. And so I called this motel. This is about 8 miles north of that eastern entrance to Glacier National Park. I think this town is called Bab. I think it's on the reservation, is it the Blackfoot Indian Reservation? Anyway, so I'm here. I have yet to call my insurance. I'm gonna have a snack, have a drink, and then take a shower, and then I'll start the whole insurance thing. Cassie, my wife, is on jury duty today. This is her first day of jury duty, or maybe second, I don't remember. And so I haven't been able to talk to her, but I called my mom and just let her know what's going on. And man, I'm like 10 and a half hours from home. I'm a full day's drive from home. So, and there's nothing like in this town. There are no car rental places. So I'm not sure what the plan is, but I will call my insurance and see what they say. And I don't know if my insurance includes a rental car or not, or if Cassie can get out of jury duty and come pick me up. I don't know. I have 2 nights in this motel. I gave myself 2 nights and a couple of days to try to get this all figured out. So wish me luck, and I'll get back to you guys in the morning. Good morning, guys. It's the next day, and this is the dinky little motel I'm staying at. There's a general store right here next door. I just had breakfast at the cafe across the street. Now let's take a little stroll. I'm still waiting to hear back from the insurance people. It's about 10 o'clock, so I'm basically just twiddling my thumbs, biding my time here. If I don't hear back soonish, like, I don't know, the next handful of hours, I'll give them a call again and then see if I can't get out of here, because there's nothing here, and the motel is expensive, and so we need to leave. I'm thinking maybe I can get the car towed to Great Falls, Montana, which is like 2.5 hours over that way. I think that's the closest major town. I think it's closer than Kalispell. I'll have to check that. One problem I'm having is that I keep getting text messages from Progressive, from our car insurance company, telling me to take pictures and upload them. You know, send them to Progressive, send them pictures of the car's damage. But I have like one sketchy bar of phone service here, and so they want me to upload like 20 pictures, and my phone, like the service I have here just can't do it. And there's really no service in at the motel either, and so I'm kind of struggling with that. I do have AAA, and I think I'm like a premium AAA member for whatever that is worth, whatever that means. And so I think I can have a 200-mile tow once a year. And I don't think I've towed anything yet this year. And so potentially I could get a free, with my membership, with my AAA membership, tow to Great Falls, which is 160 miles away. And then once I'm there, I can get a cheaper motel for a few nights. And complicating things right now is the fact that Cassie has jury duty. Did I mention that already? Starting yesterday, Cassie is on at least a week-long trial, and so she can't like come get me unless it all works out to happen over the weekend. So I don't know, it's just a huge hassle, and I've been thinking, you know, the question is, what am I gonna do about the RAV4? If it can be fixed, great, but if it's a write-off according to the insurance company and I get some insurance money, it's not gonna be a ton because the car isn't worth a ton. So do I get another RAV4? Do I just stick with the Land Cruiser for a year or two and then maybe save up for something else? Do I get a motorcycle, like an adventure bike, and use that for more long distance stuff? Do we get a van? Cassie and I have been talking about getting a van, like a Sprinter or, you know, a big Chevy cargo van, converting that into something that we can both travel and sleep and camp in. Maybe go live out of that for a month or two at a time, or a year at a time. I don't know. We're thinking about different options. We could get Cassie a new car, and I could have Cassie's car. I don't know. It's all just up in the air right now. It's just it's poor timing for this to be happening, basically. Here's a look at where we are right now. The motel is right here, and I'm just walking along this little dirt track that follows the road, trying to get my daily hike in. The day started off completely gloomy and gray and overcast and miserable, but that morning fog has burned off a little bit, and we're just, you know, a few miles from Glacier National Park. These mountains right here are in Glacier National Park, but we're stuck in Bab for the foreseeable future. Anyway, that's it for now. I'll update you later if I have anything else to update you on. I assume I'm not gonna be in Bab forever, so at some point I'll be able to you know, give you an update on what's going on. But for now, this is the new normal, it seems like. It's a couple hours later now. I just got off the phone with the insurance person. She said that the next step is to get the car towed out of here. So the company that they work with is based in Missoula, which is like 4 hours away. And so they're gonna come out here and pick up the car and take it back there to a wrecking yard, probably. And so I need to get to Missoula also. I haven't talked to the towing company yet. They're going to call me to, set things up, to arrange things. I hope they can give me a ride to Missoula also. If not, we're about to spend several hundred more dollars. There's a little store next door to the motel, and I saw a sign on the window there that was for a taxi service. I'm guessing that to get to the nearest rental place, which is either Great Falls, Montana, which is like 2.5 hours away, or Kalispell, Montana, which is again like 2.5 hours away. That's not going to be cheap. That'll be several $100s. And then once I'm there, depending on the time of day, I might need to get another motel, and then I'll need to get a rental car, and then drive to Missoula and fill all my stuff from the RAV4 into the rental car and then drive home. It's a mess, guys. We're doing the best we can here, but it might take me a few more days and several hundred more dollars before I get back. Okay, so as an update, it's a little bit past 3 o'clock. I've been making just a million phone calls trying to get things organized and worked out here. The main problem was that the insurance companies, towing people, couldn't come until Monday. Today is Friday, and so I'd have to spend another couple nights at this expensive motel in a town with nothing to do. And so I was like, okay, that's not gonna work. So I called AAA to get towed to the nearest major town, which is Great Falls, because there are cheap motels, I can rent a car, it's just much easier to do it there. And then when I initially called AAA, they said I had to file a police report first, that also I couldn't just have the car dropped off at a motel, it had to be like at a house or at a business or something like that. So anyway, lots of stuff going on. We've finally gotten it all figured out. I called the Alberta police to file a police report about the deer. And long story short, the tow truck is coming in like half an hour. And so I need to get this all packed up, get everything loaded into the car. And thankfully, I am gonna get a ride with the tow driver to Great Falls. That was another thing. The insurance companies, tow people, couldn't give me a ride. And so not only would I have to wait till Monday, but I'd have to figure a way to get out of this town, which is in the middle of nowhere. So not super happy about that. But anyway, I think things are trending in the right direction, but I don't know. We'll see. I'll keep you posted. We did it, guys. We got out of Babb. We are in Great Falls, Montana, at a nice little old historic hotel in downtown called the Hotel RVing, and it's in a cool brick building. There's a little bit of daylight left. Let me show you the view out the window here. I think we'll explore a little bit of downtown Great Falls in the morning. I feel like I can heave a sigh of relief. Getting out of that tiny little town with nothing in it was stressful, and trying to get to a place where there were actually like amenities and things. That was the big goal, the big intermediate goal I had to do, and we did it, and it feels really good. So the plan is I'm just gonna relax tonight. Actually, I need to get my laptop out and try to find a rental car for tomorrow. Assuming I can do that, I think we'll go explore a little bit of downtown Great Falls in the morning. Then I'll go pick up the rental car and then drive it over to where the RAV4 is so I can put my stuff into the rental car and then I guess we'll drive home from there. But first things first, let's relax, and I'll see you guys in like, I don't know, 10 or 12 hours. Good morning, it's 7:30 and we're starting off the day with this kind of ugly rainbow trout bison statue right on the Missouri River. Also, these are kind of neat. These are some columns alongside the walking path here. Got all kinds of tools and bits and pieces in here. Anyway, it is a new day. Hopefully the final day of this chapter of the RAV4 saga. I slept well. I got up early to take advantage of the free breakfast at the hotel, which was surprisingly good. They had a lot of good stuff for offer there. And I decided to take a walk this morning. I've got some time before I need to go pick up the car. Like I said, it's about 7:30 and I'm not picking up the rental car until 9. I haven't really spent too much time in Great Falls itself. I've driven through here several times and I have never really stopped to see or do anything, so I thought I'd take advantage of that a little bit, and I like it. It's a nice town, nice city. We've got some views of the nearby buttes over there. And I think the plan is to head back the way I came. So I came from the downtown area, but I'd like to go check out the downtown core a little bit more. It's Saturday morning, so it's pretty dead right now in downtown, but lots of neat old brick buildings and some nice murals. Check out this big old owl over here. Oh, there are actually a ton of murals past the owl over there. Okay, here we go. This looks like a little bit more of a vibrant downtown sector. This is, let's see, 5th Street. 5th Street is the cross street, and this street is Central. Looks nice, looks fun. So Great Falls is the 3rd largest city in Montana, with a population of about 60,000. Ice cream across the street right there. Fly fishing on this utility box thing. And then over at the edge of the downtown area in one of these old brick buildings is my hotel. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm gonna have a heart attack. It's been so stressful the last couple of hours. So I got a call like 10 minutes before I was gonna go pick up my rental car that, oh, by the way, they don't have any cars. So that was Enterprise. And then I called National, is that what it's called? National Rental Car. And they said that they had a car, so I made a reservation and everything. I took an Uber from the hotel to the airport where the rental car agencies were. And I get there, turns out, surprise, they actually don't have a car for me. And so I then go to one of the other car rental counters there, and it was Hertz, and they had a car for me, amazingly. And so I'm actually in a RAV4, believe it or not. And I just went into Harbor Freight. I picked up a bunch of these bags. These are like big, very large tote bags. And so the plan is to go back to where my RAV4 is at the body shop place. And I'm gonna take everything out of there. I'm gonna put everything into these big bags so that I can transfer that into this rental RAV4. And then, so because this is a Hertz, I need to drive it to Salt Lake. There is no Hertz rental place in Rock Springs, Wyoming, where I live. And so that was just another part of the whole process. I need to drive to the Salt Lake airport, and then my mom will pick me up. My mom lives in the Salt Lake area. And then I think Cassie will come get me from home. She'll drive to my mom's house tomorrow, and then she'll take me home. So this is just insane. I feel like I'm in, what is that old movie? Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, where like, it's the holidays and this guy's flight is canceled. He has to get back across the country. So he takes like a million different forms of transportation to get back home. And like, that's what I feel like I'm doing. I feel like I'm going crazy here, but we're making it work. And so let's go head over to the other RAV4 and rescue as much stuff as we can. All right, guys, I think we've done it. My RAV4 is empty. Give you one last look at the damage here and the side view. It is completely empty inside. I took the covers off. The seats look great because they've had covers on them since basically day one. I think it was literally like day 2 or 3 that I've had this car. I've had this car for 10 years, more than 10 years. I've put 160,000 miles on it, something like that. Completely empty, like she never has been before. Well, not in 10 years anyway. And then here's the back of the rental, filled to the brim. I'm actually kind of surprised that it all fit in there as well as it did, to be honest. A couple of bags in the front seat. Still, surprisingly, plenty of room to see out the back right here, and then all the stuff on this side. It's time to say goodbye. Pretty sad moment. This car was what I built this channel off of. This car basically gave me a living, bought me a house. I mean, this has been such a good car. This has been the best car I've ever owned. And it's time to say goodbye. Unless, of course, it actually is going to get fixed instead of totaled, in which case, yeah, we will see it again. But otherwise, this is goodbye. All right, guys, I'm just recording this on my phone. I've been driving for like 5 hours. I think I have about 3 hours left. I've just been going straight south on I-15, on Interstate 15, and it's been good. You know, I'm familiar with all of this area that I've been driving through, so it's just been kind of fun to relive memories. You know, I'm going through past adventures in these areas as I'm driving through them. It's raining. I'm just outside of Pocatello, and I'm doing my hike out here. This trail is called Gibson Jack, and Cassie and I used to live in Pocatello, and I like Pocatello. I think it's a great town, and there's really good hiking really close to town, and this is one of the trails that I remember doing when we lived here and really enjoying. Despite the rain, though, it's beautiful. Like, look at this. Of course, I picked like the one time and the one place it's raining on the entire drive today. Driving the new RAV4 is fine. I think it's a 6-cylinder. Mine was a 4-cylinder, so I can definitely feel that extra power. And then also this one is much newer, and it has a lot more driver aids and that sort of thing. So like adaptive cruise control and you know, it'll light up when someone comes over to your blind spot, that sort of thing. I don't love all that. I like the simplicity of my old school RAV4, but you know, it's fine, I guess. I remember one time I was hiking out here several years ago, and I saw some huge owls, a pair of big old owls in the trees right over here. Super cool. These mountains are surprisingly wild given how close you are to civilization. Like there's a Costco, you know, 10 or 15 minutes away from here. Again, that's the neat thing about Pocatello. I've seen moose back in here. I know people who've seen bears up in these mountains. It's a cool place. All right, I think we're gonna turn around here. I've gone about 2/3 of a mile. My goal is to hike a mile each day, so we'll cover that on the way back. Gonna turn around. I'll see you guys back on the road, back in the car.
Hi guys, it is a few weeks later and I have some updates for you. I am back home. I'm just taking a little midday motorcycle ride to relax a little bit, take a break from editing videos. So let me fill you in on what's been happening. I think this looks like a good spot. Nice.
The last time you guys saw me, it was night and I was driving into Salt Lake, driving to my mom's house. I did make it to my mom's and then Cassie did come and collect me the next day. I got home without any further issues. It took a couple of weeks for all the insurance stuff to get sorted out, but the word did eventually come through that the car is totaled. The RAV4 is no more, unfortunately, because again, I loved that car. And so it's now at some auto auction or a parts yard, or I don't know where it is, but it's no longer in my possession. I sent off the title, it's gone. And so in return, we have the insurance money. I think it was something like $7,200 is what I got. But then there was like a $200 deductible. So it's like 68 something was the final check that we got. And so the question is, what are we doing with that money? Well, with that money, plus the money I got from selling my other motorcycle, I did end up selling the Honda CRF 300L that you guys saw on the channel, plus the money from the rooftop tent, which I recently sold. We're looking at like $12,000 that we have to potentially put toward a new vehicle. That's just from the recent things that we've sold and you know, the insurance, gotten the insurance from. But of course, we do have some savings that we could also put toward a vehicle if we decide to. This, by the way, is my Yamaha XT250 that I've had for over a year now. Such a great little motorcycle. I love this thing. And so to answer the question of what are we gonna do? What are we gonna buy? Are we gonna buy a new vehicle? We're still not entirely sure on that. So, like I said, I think earlier in this video, we have options, right? Like I could get another small SUV. We could get a van so that Cassie and I could travel more together, spend more time together on the road. I think it would be interesting to do that. I've never owned a van before. I've never built out a van. That could make for some interesting videos, even though this channel is obviously primarily about SUV camping. Like I said, I could get you know, a bigger adventure style motorcycle, like a touring motorcycle, something that I could do long road trips on. I could ride it to the East Coast and make videos all about that. And you know, getting 75 miles to the gallon, that sounds pretty awesome, right? I think we're leaning toward getting another small SUV. Will it be another RAV4? No, almost certainly it won't. If I didn't make YouTube videos, absolutely, I would buy the exact same car again, because again, best car, most reliable car I've ever owned. We bought it at like, I think sub 50,000 miles, and I drove it to 210,000 miles. And you know, every car has problems. Every car has things you'll need to replace and repair, but that was the most reliable car I've ever owned. But I make YouTube videos for a living. I don't really have anything else to say about using that RAV4 as a camper. Does that make sense? And so just for my own entertainment and for yours as well, I would like to try something else. If we decide to go the SUV route, there is one in particular that I want to get. I'm not gonna tell you what that is yet. You'll know if I buy it, or if I buy something else, I'll tell you what else I was considering. So you'll find out at some point what small SUV I'm thinking of. So there's that. I'm probably 80% certain that I'm gonna get another small SUV. But there is 20% of me that still does want to get the van. It would probably be something like a Chevy Express or GMC Savannah, you know, like not a huge van. We were considering a Sprinter, but we don't really have a Mercedes dealership here where we live, and I've read that you do really kind of want to have a Mercedes dealership do a lot of the upkeep on those, and so that would just be a lot of hassle, and I'm concerned about being in the middle of nowhere and not having a good diesel mechanic around. So I'd probably get just a regular gas, you know, a V8 cargo van, work van, basically, and convert that into a camper van. On the one hand, I'm not really in any rush. I'm not under any kind of time crunch or time limit. Cassie has her car, she has her Highlander that she uses and that we use around town. I have the Land Cruiser that I can still take on my adventures. We have the little motorcycle over there that I can do for little smaller trips, shorter trips too. And so we don't really need another vehicle, but it really is nice to have one. Like when your living requires you to have an SUV or some other car that you can go on adventures in, it's really nice to have two, so that if something does go wrong with the one, I can always just take the other and do what I need to do. Winter is also approaching. It would be nice to have a small all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive SUV that we can take, again, on trips or just use around town. Cassie's car does not have four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. The RAV4 did, and so I don't know. I'd like to buy something soon, but buying cars sucks. It's really not fun for me because they're so darn expensive. Like, used cars are so expensive. It kind of takes all the fun out of it. And so that's how things currently stand. Again, we have some things in mind in the $11,000 to, I'd say, $16,000 range. A reliable vehicle with sub 100,000 miles on it. We don't take out loans for any of our cars. All of our vehicles, all of our big purchases are in cash, and so that's where we want to stay, I think. And there are definitely some, you know, there are options in that range. It just comes down to what we find a good deal on and what we feel like doing at the end of the day. If we stuck to the lower end of that range for the vehicle, I could also buy a motorcycle, and so that's very tempting, but we'll see. The four-wheel adventure mobile is the priority, and then if, you know, the motorcycle is just kind of a fun afterthought. We're gonna miss the RAV4. Again, great car, super reliable, highly recommended if you're in the market for a dependable, used little adventure mobile. And I took a few bits and pieces from the car and kind of put them together in sort of a collage. Cassie called it my shrine to the RAV4. I'll put a picture of that on the screen here. At some point I'm gonna put it on the wall, have a nice little memento of my faithful companion for the last 10 years. But yeah, I think that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you would do if you were in this situation. What vehicle would you get? I'd love to hear your suggestions and recommendations, and love to hear anything else you've got to say, any questions you might have. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Be sure to check out Adventure Know-How, my new site, where you can gain access to a map of all of my free campsites, plus monthly bonus videos that you won't find anywhere else. Learn more at adventureknowhow.com. And for links to everything else SUV RVing related, visit suvrving.com. Links to these sites and more will be in the video description.